Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. We didn't expect so many people. So we're printing some more programs. Everybody should get a copy of the service. It looks like this. And we're printing some more right now in the office. June is printing them up, and she'll staple them and bring them out. But we'll get started in the meantime. So that's lovely. That's a good problem to have to make more programs. Had no idea that so many people would join us here in Salinas for our Yom HaShoah service. I'm Cantor Margaret Bruner, and welcome CBI friends to come over the valley. And I am the religious leader of Temple Bethel, and I'm just saying that for our friends out here in the cyber world. We are live streaming this service this evening. So we're happy to have all of you out there joining us. And this is a joint service, Temple Bethel and Congregation Beth Israel of Carmel Valley joining together to commemorate Yom HaShoah, our service of observing Holocaust Remembrance Day. And I've put together this service from rabbis that I've worked with, including Bruce Greenbaum. His candle lighting service is in here, and I've taken some pieces from Mishkan Tefillah and a wonderful reading from Rabbi Marcy Delbick, who was the rabbi here for 7 years, Ahava Shalom, and she wrote a beautiful poem about the why and was a wonderful writer, very wonderful writer and scholar, and we miss her. And we're just glad that you're all here this evening, and we're just delighted to have Rabbi Jeffrey Glickman joining us and Cantor Elisa Feynman, who's been on our pulpit before, and it's so great to have you. So it's wonderful to be here. Please turn off your cell phones at this time. Jeff Siegel, are you ready? I'm ready. Okay. We begin with silence. The silence of death, the silence of destruction. There are times when songs falter, when darkness fills life, when martyrdom becomes a constellation of faith against the unrelieved black of space about us. There are no words to reach beyond the edge of night, no messenger to tell the full tale. There is only silence, the silence of Job, the silence of the 6 million, the silence of memory. Let us remember them as we link our silences. As we rise in a moment to hear the plaintive call of the shofar, awakening us, arousing our hearts and souls and minds, and giving us a united voice, Zachor. Remember, we must shout to the world. Remember them with our silence, with our voices, and most importantly, with our deeds, with our acts of loving kindness to all creation. Please rise. Please be seated.
There are still people who don't know who Hannah Senich was, and I'm meeting them all the time. Hungarian-born, raised in Budapest to a Jewish family, assimilated, extremely talented, bright writer, and who grew up in a society where there was growing anti-Semitism, and she would have no more of it. So she immigrated to mandated Palestine, and there she joined a kibbutz, learned Hebrew, learned agriculture. She was safe, and she decided to join a special operations unit with the British and was dropped behind enemy lines in Yugoslavia and to only enter Hungary to help save her fellow Jews, and she was caught. I found an interesting article that said in Yugoslavia in 1944, a paratrooper named Reuven Daphne escorted Hannah Senich to the Hungarian border. They had both trained with the British in Mandate Palestine and then parachuted into Eastern Europe with the mission of joining the partisans and saving fellow Jews. As Senich prepared to enter Hungary, the land of her birth, she turned to Daphne and held out a piece of paper containing a poem she had just composed. "If I don't come back, please bring this to the Chaverim in Stot Yam," she said, referring to the members of her kibbutz. Decades later, in an interview, Daphne described his state of mind. "I was nervous like hell, and I was tense. What the hell is she doing? In this situation, she writes poems?" After Senich left, he angrily threw the piece of paper into the bushes and headed back to base. But halfway there, something within him made him stop and turn around. Even with German patrols everywhere, he searched for the poem. "It took me about an hour to find this piece of paper. In the end, he discovered the small scrap that contained what would become one of the most famous poems in the Hebrew language, written as a tribute to sacrifice in the face of danger." Blessed is the match, consumed in kindling flame. Blessed is the flame that burns in the secret places of the heart. Blessed is the heart with the strength to stop its beating for honor's sake. Oh, blessed is the match, consumed in kindling flame. Blessed is the match, consumed in kindling flame. Oh, blessed is the flame that burns in the secret places of the heart. Blessed is the heart with the strength to stop its beating for honor's sake. Oh, blessed is the match, consumed in kindling flame. Oh, blessed is the match, consumed in kindling flame.
Let us read together in the middle of page 2, Kindling the Lights of Remembrance. Together, how can we fathom this enormity of loss? Our hearts try to gather in the countless faces. You, Holy One, summon each images burned in your remembrance. Help us to recall. Help us to recall their lives and their destruction. Bring us to your sacred place of memory, not only to bear witness, but to reassemble faith, to recover the defiled and make it holy. Those slender flames are a promise and a charge, calling us to honor and to imitate righteousness. These flames illuminate truth's horror and hope's future. Your searing reminder, do not forget. Let us bless you, Holy One, touching fire to wick, 6 candles to burn in testimony. Let us bless you, Holy One, for you dry our tears. Your comfort, martyred souls. You bring us shalom. We kindle these lights in memory of the 6 million Jews murdered by the Nazis and their collaborators. May the memory of the righteous be for a blessing. Zichronom livracha. And now I invite Vic and Sylvia Crimsley to start off our candle lighting ceremony written by Rabbi Bruce Greenbaum, If Only, and they will light the first candle.
This first light represents the light of compassion. This candle represents the soul of the poet, the song of the musician, the lives of all the artists lost, those that dared to speak out, those that identified as different in some way.
Non-Jews that showed compassion by hiding Jews and helping them to escape. Compassion. We hold dear in our hearts thoughts of what could have been, if only.
Rosemary Landy will light our second candle.
The second candle reminds us of the children. How many children were lost? And children of those children. Lives that should have been, but are not. This is a light of innocence. Babies, youth, teenagers, young love that never was given a chance. We hold dear in our hearts thoughts of what could have been, if only.
Is it going to behave? You can just leave it. It's okay. We'll make it behave. Thank you. Mindy Glickman.
The third candle burns for the women who were lost. Their warmth, their tenderness, their strength could not be destroyed even in the face of cruelty and brutality. Young women and grandmothers alike, torn from their families, but not from our hearts. And we think, if only.
And now Brian Telford is going to sing Eli, Eli with Cantor Elisa.
Eli, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the thresh of the heavens, the prayer of the heart.
Our candle lighting continues on page 4. Dr. Joe Chudy will light the 4th candle.
The 4th candle shines for the men who were taken from this world. So many fought to keep their spirit alive, their hopes intact, but the weight of the tasks demanded of them, the forced labor, and the insufferable conditions remained their burden. We hold dear in our hearts thoughts of what could have been, if only.
Jim Gumberg.
The 5th candle cries out the message of truth. Let none dare say this loss was insignificant. All must see the horrors of the past. Let the pain of human suffering and human loss alert us to the realities of what humanity can become. May this light force all to see what is real. We hold dear in our hearts thoughts of what could have been, if only.
Kara Lieb will light our 6th candle.
The 6th candle stands for wisdom and knowledge. Many have tried to understand the lessons of this horrific period. We cannot let this type of tragedy destroy more of humanity. But still, we hear about ethnic cleansing, about unbelievable suffering today. May this light burn a passion within us so that we might stand up and cry out, not now, not in our lifetime. Only when all are treated equally and fairly, when all are given the opportunity to thrive, all people, then our thoughts will not be, if only.
The human spirit is the light of God. As we look at these lights, try to imagine 6 million candles, each one with the name of another Jew. Each one would signify a unique and precious soul who struggled, who had hope, who was part of a family, an orphan, a widow, or a widower. They worked, studied, took walks, ordinary things of life. They celebrated births and weddings, mourned the funerals. All were part of the Jewish people, each one was a separate individual. Each one suffered. Each and every one was murdered.
אני מאמין באמונה שלמה בביאת המשיח. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה בביאת המשיח. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה בביאת המשיח. ואף על פי שיתמהמה אחכה לו בכל יום שיבוא. ואף על פי שיתמהמה אחכה לו בכל יום שיבוא. אני מאמין באמונה שלמה. Now, Rabbi Glickman will share some remarks with us. This one's better. May not be tall enough for you, sure.
Wow. Thank you so much for opening up your doors to us, because we need to be together to take a look back. We really need to be together, and oh my gosh, it's so haunting, that song. It brought us to a different place, all of the songs and all of the readings. Thank you. Thank you, Cantor Margaret. Thank you for honoring us all and opening up your doors the way that you did. What a fine and a beautiful community you have here. So, how did this all happen? How could it be that there's a whole nation of people that could ingest such lies over and over again? I asked that question. How could it be? And I'm going to present to you something that I found that is a partial answer. I'm going to pass this around. This is, I'm going to take it out. Some of you might have seen this before. This is from 1917 from Germany. If your hands are clean, I want you to hold it and look at it. It's just a beautiful, take a look. It's a beautiful 5-mark note. 5 marks, I double-checked. It's about a day's labor. You work a day, and you get a beautiful 5-mark note. And I want you to see what it looks, all the colors, the work that was put into it. You felt like you really earned something when you got that. But especially, I want you to feel it. It's really, it's some of the most beautiful money you're going to find. 1917. While it's going around, I'm going to tell a different story, a story of a few years back with the Ukraine war starting, and there are lots of Jews still in Ukraine. We were invited to help lead a Passover Seder in Warsaw for the Ukrainian immigrants, the ones that left and went into Warsaw. Now, Poland in World War II, as a country, was not nice to Jews. I'm going to tell you as a witness, in the 21st century, 1/3 of all of the people of Warsaw took either a person or a family into their home, Jewish or not Jewish. And the homes that they had are mostly 1-bedroom apartments where a family would live or a couple would live. And so they had 2 families all over Poland. Does it forgive everything that they did in the Holocaust? No, but I'm going to tell you that it's a different Poland today. They're moving in the right direction. And it was a wonderful act of welcoming the stranger. 1/3 of the people in Warsaw welcomed a stranger into their homes. So while this is being passed around, I'm going to tell a story. My wife does some work with the Joint Distribution Committee, the JDC. And when at the border crossing coming into Poland from Ukraine, there are different tents, and one of them has an Israeli flag, and the JDC is there. And if there's someone who is Jewish, they help and ask them if they want to go to Israel, because Israel welcomes them. And they help to get them there. JDC is phenomenal. Phenomenal. So this is a story of the tent of a woman who came with her child and her very elderly mother. And they came to the tent with the Israeli flag. And the woman was asked, "Oh, are you Jewish?" And she says, "No." And they ask her, "Well, are you married to someone who's Jewish?" Now, the immigrants, all of the men had to stay and fight. So the only people in Warsaw are the women with children, because many of the women had to stay back. But if they had children, they could leave, and the elderly. That's what fills, to this day, fills up Warsaw, the Poles. So they said, "Is your husband Jewish? Because if your husband's Jewish, we can, the law of return, if you're married to someone who's Jewish, that's fine." And she said, "No, my husband's not Jewish." And they said, "Well, do you have a Jewish grandparent? Or your husband has a Jewish?" They said, "No." Because in the law of return is based on Hitler's definition of who was a Jew. If you have one grandparent that's Jewish, Israel welcomes you. She didn't have any of those. And they said, so why'd you come here? And she says, "Well, my mom told us we should come here." I get a little choked up when I tell this story. And so she says something in Ukraine to the mom. She says, why'd you tell us to come here? The mom reaches into her bag and takes out an envelope that the daughter had no idea of. And the envelope has a return address on the upper left-hand corner from a place in Jerusalem called Yad Vashem. Jewish Holocaust Memorial. And she takes it out, and in there is a piece of paper that says that she and her husband were honored for being righteous Gentiles in World War II and for saving Jews. They were on the next plane, all three of them, to Israel. That's a story. What happened many, many years ago reverberates to this day. To this day, it reverberates. I want everyone to feel to look at this piece of paper. 1917, that's a real money. You work for a day, you really got something. Imagine that you saved up a bunch of those. You've been working for decades in the factory or the fields. You've been working, you've been a productive member of society. You put away, you saved 3,000 marks because you're going to live off of that for the rest of your life. 3,000, that's really cashing away money that maybe you have 5,000 marks. You worked hard to collect that. And you see they look, so where's the money right now? All right, so be sure to pass it around because I want everyone to see it. Your dignity is tied up in those bills. That's like your life. I'm going to pass out a different bill that came out 6 years later in 1923. This is a bill, and again, your hands have to be clean to hold it and treat it very gently because these are real. And they tell a real story, and it takes you back. This is 1923 Germany. There is no Nazi anything going on in Germany now. This is before all of that. 1923 Germany. This is a note, a mark note. It is only printed on one side. Some of the other ones are only printed in one color. This happens to have a couple, maybe 3 different colors in it. It looks like, it's like tissue paper. It's very inexpensive paper. And this says 20 Millionen Mark. What does that mean, 20 Millionen? 20 million marks. So imagine you saved up 3,000, 5,000 marks. You're going to retire, and now this is how much your marks are worth. It takes a whole stack of these to get a slice of bread. You need a wheelbarrow of these to get a loaf of bread. I'm going to pass it around so you can see it. What does that make you think about the value of your life and all those years you carefully saved? What does it make you think about the value of what you did in your life? How does that affect you? 20 million doesn't even get a slice of bread. I've seen some of them. They're billions. Some of them are billions. I have one at home. It's got handwriting on it. Someone wrote in German, "Can you believe we're all billionaires now?" But treat that very carefully. But I want you to feel, because it is a piece of paper, but it is a person's life. Do you get that connection? And that paper is very flammable. And so are the people for whom their life isn't worth anything. And when someone comes along and says, "You're the greatest people on the world," They treated you wrong, you don't deserve it. You listen. You listen. The whole country was like a tinderbox. Well, I mean, look, I studied mathematics and economics. I don't normally give sermons about economics, but I'm going to now. So if you flip out when you hear economics, I'll wake you up when I'm done talking about economics, okay? So let's say that you want to build a great big factory, and you take out a loan, and you get $10 million loan for 5 years, and you build that factory, and then you pay back not 10 million, you pay back 15 million of nothing dollars. Of nothing. You now got a factory for free. Who paid for it? That's an interesting question. Who paid for it? But that's what happened, is people took advantage of it. And so Germany had tremendous amounts of factories that were built because of the hyperinflation. And they just built and built and built and built and built. It was, all right, you can, and that's the end of the economics lesson. They were prone to hearing lies. Anything that didn't blame them. Now, the German people did some horrible things, horrific things. And this doesn't justify it. But what it does do is it makes us tuned in so that when we hear the words never again, we know what to do. You know, most of the people who were murdered in the concentration camps were Jews. With the yellow, some of you have seen that. But there were also pink ones. And there were very many people who were murdered whose, let's just say, their gender identity was not obvious. LGBTQ, on and on and on, straight to the concentration camps. People who had physical obstacles or mental obstacles or emotional obstacles had different colors, straight to the concentration camps. People who were trade unionists. Because fascism means a government run by the companies, kind of. And so people that wanted trade unions were against the companies. They were hauled off in the cars as well. Communists, they didn't care much for communists. But at that time, even though we might not have liked those other groups of people, our destiny was forged by fire with theirs. What does never again mean? Well, I left in the car at the request of some people here because I didn't want to pollute your sanctuary. But I have some other money from 1941, which has a picture of Moses on it carrying the 10 Commandments. And it's stamped with the word Terezin on it. It's Nazi money. It's Nazi money. It's a lie. It was to fool the world that the Jews had it so good in all of the Nazi territories. Look, we even print up their own money. Look at that, with Moses on it, with the 10 Commandments with Hebrew letters. It's all a lie. It's all a lie. I didn't want to bring it in here. I do have it in the car if someone really wants to see what that looks like. The money of Theresienstadt. So what does never again mean? What does it mean, never again? It means we are survivors. We are here for a reason. That they didn't die in vain. It means that we have to be open to the world. It means that when we hear violent rhetoric, people with fire spewing out of their mouths, the people are going to get burned. And whenever there's people getting burned, Jews are going to get burned too. We learn that. We learn that when someone talks about the other as being bad and exaggerating and telling lies, to say, you're much better than all of those others, never again. We're not going to put up with that. We're not going to put up with lies. We're not going to put up with violence. We're Jews. We listen and we learn, and the way that we make their memory a blessing is to remember and to stand up. Thank you.
Do you want to sing up here? Yeah, okay.
I just have a few words first, as a little bit of history. On the first night of Pesach, April 1943, the starving, ill-equipped residents of the Warsaw Ghetto dared stage an uprising against their Nazi oppressors. Miraculously, they somehow managed to hold off the massive Nazi fighting machine for over a month before the ghetto was leveled and all of its people were murdered. A Lithuanian-born Jewish partisan, Hirsch Glick, wrote this song that I'm going to sing, which became the official hymn of the Jewish partisans. Glick was captured by the Gestapo and sent to a concentration camp. He did escape, but was killed fighting the Germans in the nearby woods. He was only 24 years old. The words carry so much meaning even today, 83 years later. Never say that there is only death for you, though leaden skies above conceal the days of blue. Because the hour we have hungered for is near. Beneath our tread, the earth shall tremble. We are here. Sorg niet keinmal als du gehst dem letzten Weg, Gott Himmeln bleien verstellen bläue Tag, kommen wird noch unser ausgebänkte Show, s Wetter beugt und unser Trott mehr seinen Do, kommen wird noch unser ausgebänkte Show, s Wetter beugt und unser Trott mehr seinen Do, von grünem Palmenland bis Land von weißen Schnee. Wir kommen und mit unser Pein, mit unser Weh, und wo gefallen sie, so spritzt von unser Blut, sprotzen wir dort unser Gwure, unser Mut, und wo gefallen sie, so spritzt von unser Blut, sprotzen wir dort unser Gwure, unser Mut. Es wird die Morgensonne begilden uns dem Heind, und der Nächten wird verschwinden mit dem Feind. Nur euch versammeln wird die Sonne in dem Kajor, wie ein Parol so gehen das Lied von Dor zu Dor. Nur euch versammeln wird die Sonne in dem Kajor, wie ein Parol so gehen das Lied von Dor zu Dor. Das Lied geschrieben ist mit Blut und nicht mit Blei. Sie ist nicht kein Liedl von a Fegel läuft im Frei. Das hat a Volk zwischen fallen dicke Wind. Das Lied gesungen mit na Garnes in die Hand. Das hat a Volk zwischen fallen dicke Wind. Das Lied gesungen mit na Garnes in die Hand. Te sag nicht keinmal, als du gehst im letzten Weg. Gott himlen bleien, verstellen bleue Tag. Kommen wird noch unser ausgebänkte Show. Es wird abheugt und unser Trott mir seinen Do. Kommen wird noch unser ausgebänkte Show. Es wird abheugt und unser Trott mir seinen Do.
Please rise. We turn to page 7. Shochein bamromim hamtzi menucha nechona tachet kanfei hashachina b'ma'alot kiroshim u'tahorim gezohar arakia mazirim and nishmot 6 million achenu ve'achiotenu shenehegu al kiddush Hashem Ba'al arachamim yastireim b'seter kanafav leolamim Vayitzror bitzror hachayim et nishmatam Adonai hu nachalatam Ve'yanuchu b'shalom al mishkavam Venomar Amen. O God, full of mercy, defender of widows and fathers of orphans, be not silent or restrained regarding the blood which was spilt like water. Grant proper rest beneath the wings of your presence in the great heights of the holy and pure, who, like the brilliance of the heavens, gives light and shine for the souls of multitudes of thousands, men, women, boys and girls who were killed and slaughtered and burnt and suffocated and buried alive in the lands touched by the hand of the German oppressor and its followers. All of them holy and pure, may the Garden of Eden be their resting place, and therefore may the Master of Mercy shelter them in the shelter of his wings for eternity and bind their souls with the bond of life. For God is their inheritance now, and may they find peaceful repose in their resting place. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated.
Adapted from a quote found on a cellar wall in Cologne, Germany, written by a person hiding from the Nazis. I believe in the sun, even when it's not shining. I believe even when I don't believe.
Please rise and turn to page 8. Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah. V'yamad yivrach Yeruteh v'yamlich malchuteh. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayeh d'chol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam l'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha brichu la'ela minkol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Ve'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say. Amen. Please be seated as I invite up Cantor Elisa and her little choir. Is it HaKolot? Kolot Halev. My little choir was HaKolot. They're older. And this is my choir member, Brian, and Jeff Siegel is another choir member if he wants to come up. And then we have our joined choir, and I'm not going to be the cantor with the 3 tenors anymore.
You guys come over here.
I'm not going to be anyway because one of my tenors turned into a baritone. Please join us in Oseh Shalom.
Oh, say
Shalom b'mramav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu 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 ve'al kol Yisrael. V'imru
Thank you all for coming this evening.
Erev Tov.
Erev Tov and drive safe.
Thank you. Sorry about the octave switch.
Oh, no, that's okay.
She left the cable on, so you went into a different.
No.
No?
That was
you
the
didn't?
same.
Oh, okay.
But his range is amazing.
I know.
We
I
practiced
know.
where he wanted it.
Yeah.
But you.
I know.
Wait, this is not on.
No, it's not on. It's not on.
You know that Brian and I often see each other in Colorado.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's good.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Oh,
Sorry, I didn't mean to make an assumption.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
No, we practiced.
I know, he's a
But
tenor
when
too.
I realized this, I was scared when I just said, drop it off. For the, for the English and that, maybe this will help. I don't want you to.
I think I tried.